Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to our Outdoors channel. This video is an update to Pat's previous one of a 3-day survival bag, and I'll put a link to that video in the description below. Now, the current pandemic here in March and April of 2020 inspired us to do an update on that survival bag and to expand it to cover multiple people, such as a family, and for more time than just 3 days. Actually, how many days is unknown in this current situation. Unfortunately, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last. We are confident that this pandemic will be met and defeated within a short time. It will become another of those viruses defeated as we have done in all our human history. Medical science is all over this in the world, and working on this and testing is being prioritized and fast-tracked. The information I give here is not a proven science or confirmed medical fact, but this does give us a yardstick to go by. No, a yardstick is kind of a long measure, and that's what we have to deal with for now. I do not want to cause any panic or alarm with this information. I only want to pass on what information may help you. Current wisdom tells us that this pandemic will last until summer is here, and it may abate, and then it may rise again in the fall or winter, much like the flu does. The experts are telling us that the virus only spreads from human contact. While it can be picked up by touching surfaces, it may not be transmitted unless you touch your face. That is why hand washing is important and sanitizing anything you bring into your home or your personal space. Now, about face masks. Face masks are questionable, except that it may help to keep infected people from spreading the virus to others. The mask will help to contain the spread from within the mask. Now, the COVID-19 virus size is roughly 0.16 microns in diameter, and the respiratory droplets from infected individuals come in a wide range of sizes, from visible droplets to ones that are too small for our eyes to see. I'll put up a micron chart here so you can see what this means as to particle size. This chart does not represent a scale size as to what the particle sizes are. It's a representative sample. I'll also put a link to this chart in the description below. Now, we are suggested to use standard face masks and leave the N95 mask to the medical professionals on the front lines in this war against this virus. We really need them to be safe in performing the jobs, so they may save your and my lives. A DIY mask can typically filter out down to 1.0 micron. That's not an absolute, and the COVID-19 virus is smaller than that, but these masks can help prevent spread by infected individuals. Now, the N95 mask and respirators for medical and surgery blocks at least 95% of 0.3 micron particles. Now, some items mentioned in this video will have links in the description below, and stick around to the end for some additional information and resources. And I want to say thank you, Pat, for doing this update for all of us. So let's get this one started now.
We'll start going through my survival kit that I keep here at home for me and my family. Now, your kit may vary. I'm just here to give you some ideas and hope that I can maybe teach you a little something. I'm going to go through some of these items. I'm going to talk about why I have them and maybe a few of the uses. I'm not going to get super deep into this because, well, I don't want to bore you guys. So I'm just going to get right into it here. So one of the first things I have here is this shovel and weapon type thing. But so they call it a survival shovel. It's got a saw blade here, a serrated saw blade, and these are sharp, and this is sharp, and it's even got little notches here to turn bolts. This comes apart. Now, I got this as a birthday gift just because I thought they were cool. My family was kind enough to grab me one. So it's got some, right there you can see you got a windshield breaker or a glass breaker. And then this comes off at the bottom. And lo and behold, you got a fire striker. This is a ferrous rod, also called a woodman's match. You take a blade and you scrape it across there. It shoots off sparks. Do not hit it. It is not a flint. It is you scrape it across to get a fire going. Well, to get the sparks to get the fire going. There are several other items that are built into this guy. It's actually pretty cool. I've played around with this for a while and I like it. And it's got little grommets in there too to keep it watertight. Screwdriver, both flat tip and Phillips. And this comes off here. And this guy can become a trowel. So it'll work like that if you need to dig a trench. It's also got a knife in it. The other side. Yep, it does. So this is really cool. I like this. So you can take this part out here. This unscrews, and there's your knife and your saw blade. And you can use that knife to, of course, with your woodsman's match, and you're all set to go to create sparks. So now you're going to notice that my kit is very heavy in cutting instruments and fire starting implements because I believe that those are important for me. So I'm going to get right to my kit here. So I've got the kit next to me, and I'm just going to grab a couple things out. This is in no particular order, and I'm just looking to give you ideas here. You might look at my kit and laugh at me, and that's fine. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what I've learned over the few years that I've gotten into this, and hopefully I can help somebody. So if I can help one of you, it was worth making the video. So here we go. So I've got these nest kits here. I've got 3 of these, and these are pretty cool. I like them because if you're out in the woods or even in your house, if you're bugging in and the power's out, you can get you can build a fire in a pan and use these to cook. If you happen to get some wild game or even to cook up some rice or something like that, these come apart. They've got pans and frying pans and even a cup for water and a lid for everything. I mean, they're just really cool. I'm sure that you guys from the military are familiar with this kind of stuff. You can hang this right over your fire and boil some water to purify it. We'll get more into purifying water after I get into this some more. So I'm going to put that back together. It all screws together. It holds together nice and tight. It's really cool, actually. I believe if you were a Boy Scout, you probably have some experience with these. So I've got 3 of these. And that's because there's 3 members of my family. Okay, so another thing people are concerned with is keeping themselves occupied. Those nights can get pretty long without any power. So say, absolutely things completely fall apart. There's no grid power, you've got nothing to do, all you've got is your cell phone, right? Well, how are you going to keep that powered up? Well, here's what I came up with. So what I've got here is 3 different items. These are portable chargers for your cell phone. So this one, you power it up, it charges 2 phones twice. Okay, so now you're going to have to keep charging this one, which is why I have these others. So I've got this guy here. This one will take a sun charge, so it's solar powered sun charge. This one unfortunately takes just about all day to get a full charge. So I'm not a big fan of this, but I still keep it in my pack because it's a spare. But it will charge 2 phones twice as well off of a full day's charge in the sun. Now this one I really like because it has a built-in solar power here, and then it has 3 other solar panels. This one charges up pretty quick, a couple of hours, and this one also has a very good capacity. So its capacity is good because I can charge a couple of phones 3 or 4 times in a day with this. Now the important thing about having that is a lot of us have kids. Well, if you're in a bad situation, trying to keep those kids occupied might be a challenge. So this will charge tablets, it'll charge phones. I would download some applications that don't need to be online, some simple games and things like that to keep the kids occupied. Because in a really bad situation, like what we're facing with the coronavirus, you don't want them to worry about that. That's not their job to worry. It's your job to worry. You're the parent. You take care of it. So this is a way for you to keep the kids occupied and keep their minds off of the end of the world, so to speak. I don't think this is the end of the world, but that's my personal opinion. So another thing that I keep in my kit, and again I'm very fire heavy in these, I have a full pack of lighters. Self-explanatory. I don't want to rub two sticks together to make a fire if I can help. It takes all day. So, quick and simple. Find some starter and get it done. I keep a pair of gloves in here. Gloves are nice because they protect your hands from splinters and things like that when you're gathering wood. These finger gloves is what I call them, but they're fingerless gloves, are nice because they give me the dexterity that I need, but they also, when you tighten them up, will solidify your hand, is what I want to say. So you can really, pack a punch if you have to get into a hand-to-hand combat situation. I hope you never do. But it will pack a wallop if you have to punch somebody while wearing these. I keep a small box of disposable knives. So these are just little credit card knives they fold up, they go into your wallet. They're pretty basic. You can get 10 of these for $10 on geek.com. They just fold up. Having an emergency knife available is great. Also, if somebody has something that you need in barter situation, if society breaks down, maybe you can trade this for a can of food or two. Having these on hand, they're light, but they're just a good idea. My opinion, of course. The other thing I keep is a basic medical kit. So this is just a basic first aid kit that I picked up from Walmart for about $15. This includes Band-Aids, medicines, and topicals, which means it's got stuff like if you get a cut, you put it down there, it disinfects your cut. So, because an infection in the wild or without any medical care can kill you. A bad enough infection will kill you. It's got instruments like tongue depressors and tape and gloves for other kinds of care to keep your hands out of someone else's blood or if you're touching other people. It's got wound dressings. Wound dressings are for deeper cuts, larger cuts, things of that nature. It's just a good idea to always have a medical kit on you or with you. I always keep a basic fishing kit. So my basic fishing kit includes a little bit of line, some sinkers, some artificial bait, and some bobbers. Just basic stuff that I can use to try to catch a meal if I need to. I keep a small hatchet. Like I said, I'm heavy on cutting implements. This small hatchet can be used to chop some wood, create tinder, bang a bear in the face. It's up to you. But it's just a good idea to have something like this. It can also serve as a hammer. That's what you never know when you're going to need a hammer if you get some nails helping you build a shelter. Another thing I keep, a couple of things that I keep in here, are some reflective emergency blankets. The nice thing about the emergency blanket is they kind of work like a baked potato. You put a potato in the oven in some tin foil, what happens is that heat is reflected back into the meal and it softens up your potato. Well, it'll work similarly for your body. It'll help to keep you warm because that body heat is reflected back to you so you stay warmer. It can also be used as a shelter cover. It can also be used as a signaling device because it's reflective. That's just some of the uses. Always keep some ponchos. Ponchos are just nice because nobody wants to be cold and wet. It's kind of self-explanatory. I have a little signal mirror here. This little signal mirror has a hole in the front of it right there that you can use for line of sight and try to flash somebody for help. Pretty basic. It can be worn as a necklace. It's nice to have. You can also use, believe it or not, an old CD because it's reflective and it has a hole in the middle. So you can use that to sight it. I also keep a really inexpensive, just string backpack. Now, what I would use this for personally is if I I live in Minnesota, so we have a lot of lakes, rivers, and streams. So if I had to go get fresh water to filter, I would use this to take any implements I wanted for the journey, whether it be carrying some medical supplies, maybe a little bit of food, lunch, things like that. There's a lot of different things you can do with this. Another thing I like to keep there is in my pack is these are just bandanas. I got a couple of them here. Bandanas have a multitude of uses. The first one I think of is you can make char cloth for starting a fire. You can use it to help filter out the bigger particles out of water. You can use it to protect your head. You can use it as a wound dressing. Very useful item to have. There's probably more ways to use it than I've explained here. More parts. These are just extra hooks for my basic fishing kit. Now this is cool. I found this at Sportsman's Warehouse. This is basically a life straw. This particular one that I picked up is good for 100,000 gallons. You can use this in any freshwater source, no need to boil. You can just drink the water straight out of it. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to taste good, but it'll at least keep you safe. The reason I have one for 100,000 gallons is because there's 3 people in my family, myself, my wife, and my daughter. Another thing I like to have is this guy right here. It's called a solar lighter. What this does is it focuses sunbeams to a certain point so that you can start some tinder or whatever you need to do to start a fire. Another thing that I happen to have in my pack is this is a 3-day supply of food. Okay, this is from Food for Patriots. You can go to foodforpatriots.com and order these. Keep in mind they're on back order because of the recent disasters that are going on. They're on back order for a few months. I got this a few months ago for about $15. It's 3 days worth of food. All you have to do is add hot water and you got a hot meal. So good to have. You can also get ration bars on Amazon.com. They don't taste the best, but there's a 3-day supply of food there. You can get one for each person in your family. Some other things I keep in my, again, heavy with the knives. This actually particular knife was made by my dad. I haven't used it yet. Still got a mirror finish on it. Thanks, Dad. I love this thing, by the way. Having a good sharp knife is never bad. I prefer fixed blades because they seem to be more reliable than a folded knife. They're just a lot stronger and you can do a lot more with them, in my opinion. These are, again, some storm-proof matches. I keep them in this little baggie just to keep them from getting wet. It's just an extra layer of protection. This thing is cool, in my opinion. This is an automatic fishing reel, believe it or not. And what this does is this is for absentee fishing, which is illegal in Minnesota, but I do believe that the state would understand if I were in a dire situation. So the way this works is you pull this out, and this little lever right here, really? Alright, so you pull that out, and this catches right here. So when the fish grabs this, it reels them in automatically, and they're stuck there. So it's just a way to catch fish when you're not there, if you're off gathering wood or taking care of your family. I have these cool little things here. Now what these are is they're, again, fire starter stuff. Except for this is a spare knife sharpener. Always have spares. Redundancy is great in survival because you never know when you might drop something, lose something, fall in the water. But this has got matches, it's got lighters. I've even got some coffee filters and stuff in here to help filter water. The other one actually has, believe it or not, I've got some lint from the dryer. Now, lint from a dryer will take a spark extremely quickly. I mean, you almost don't have to even do anything. You just spark it, and it starts a fire. You throw some small kindling on there, you got yourself a fire going. Again, heavy on the fire. This is another set of stormproof matches with a striker built into the side. I got this on geek.com for $1. The only problem with geek.com is you got to wait about 6 weeks to get your stuff. Having baggies is always a good idea. You can carry water in these. You can seal up your personal stuff. You can just use it to all kinds of stuff. You can use it to gather wild edibles, all kinds of stuff, and it keeps them wild edibles from leaching moisture into your clothing because nobody wants to be cold and wet. I also carry, where is it? Fishing kit. I carry some extra survival bracelets. This particular one has a fire striker on it. It's got a temperature gauge and it's got a compass. So this particular one has a compass and a fire starter. So this is a very nice one to have. I have others that have different stuff on them, knives and different things like that, fire starters built in. Always carry a compass with you. I mean, that's a smart idea, so you know where you're going. Dang it. Oh, there it is. So always carry a decent compass. Now keep in mind, when you're using a compass, keep it away from your phone and any other electronics that you have, because they're going to have magnetic fields that are going to throw this off. So always carry a decent compass. If you don't know how to do orienteering, you can learn this on YouTube very easily and quickly. It just takes a few minutes to learn. I learned how to do this in the 6th grade. It was part of a trip that we took as a field trip. I've got this little guy right here. This has a built-in flashlight. It's got a temperature gauge. It's got a compass, a whistle, and there's even a little magnifier in here for starting fires. This is great. You can wear it as a necklace. It's just something I picked up just for fun. I thought it would be cool in my box. I have lighters all over the place in this thing. I mean, I just don't want to have to rub 2 sticks together. This is a little imitation Swiss Army knife. It has all kinds of different blades on it. I got this as a gift and put it in my survival kit. Now this particular knife sharpener is my favorite. That's because it has a metal side and a ceramic side. Now the reason I like this particular one is because it sharpens knives faster and more accurately than anything else I have. It's quick and it's simple and it works really, really well for me. You can pick these up at any outdoor store or bait shop for about $2. Again, I have other survival bracelets with compasses and fire starters and things built into them. Some of these even have fishing kits built into them. So that's about it for my particular kit. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the below. Please like us and give us a thumbs up and hit that button to get other updates from us. On a separate note, Dad, I hope you're okay. I love you and I hope you're doing well. If you need anything, let me know. Other than that, thanks for watching our video and hope you are safe and healthy.
Okay, Pat. Thank you for that and your concern. I love you and your family as well. Be safe. That's a good idea to have a firearm or two with you if you need to encounter this survival situation. Now, you can use it for hunting for food and defense against any predators such as bears, mountain lions, wolves, coyotes, etc. Now, an AR-15 is great for bigger game and predators. Now, there is also a conversion kit, whereas you can shoot .22 long rifle ammo for smaller game. And I'll put a link to that below, along with a few videos that we did on the conversion kit. That's a great option and it takes the place of having 2 rifles. You can just have one for 2 purposes. A 9mm pistol is also a good sidearm to have for backup in some circumstances. Well, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration, please hit that thumbs up icon and give us a like. Please share it with your family, friends, and other outdoor enthusiasts. And please subscribe and be sure to hit that bell icon so you won't miss anything. And give us your comments. We want to hear what your suggestions are, your questions, and what you may be interested in seeing. As I mentioned earlier, there are resources and links to products listed in the description below. Items that we do not list below are commonly available to you locally, such as at Walmart. So be safe. Thank you.